Hello friends, hi, welcome back. Welcome back to another wardrobe update. It's business as usual. We are just going to talk about what's new in my wardrobe. I have a few thoughts and feelings about some of the other things in my wardrobe, namely some of the recent fast fashion pieces that I have added. Yes, it's been all but a month, but I already have something to say. So let's just get into all of it. So the first thing that I have added for this month is a pink top from H&M. I bought it because it is the identical color to the pink blazer that I bought that we talked about in the last wardrobe updates. So the two of them go really well together. It's a really cute look for spring. I've also been wearing it with my other blazer that we're gonna get to next. And I bought it because I figured what's the harm? It's 10 francs, it's not a lot of money up front, and yeah, I thought it was cute. I've worn it a couple of times, washed it once, and after just this one time of wash, it's already much less soft, but also, maybe worst of all, the pink color has already turned a little bit gray. And yes, I was careful with how I washed it because I really wanted to make sure that it was to no fault of mine if it started to deteriorate. So that's a little bit of a shame. I think it's maybe not so easy to tell on camera, but to me and the naked eye in real life, you can sort of tell. On the big scale of things, it's not really a big deal. I will probably, I'm assuming, get those 10 wears out of it so that I will be able to bring the cost per wear down to under one, which is usually my goal. But it's also just like another reminder of why my wardrobe is not mainly made up of things like this, because I'm not assuming that it will last that long within my wardrobe. And if I were to exclusively have things from fast fashion, I would be back in that mill where like you just have to replace things all the time because they start looking less than new so quickly. And the top is 100% cotton, by the way, which I thought might also make a difference, but yeah. Then the next thing that I added is a pinstriped blazer. I actually just saw this in the window in a secondhand shop in Zurich and I just thought it was so cute. Went inside, tried it on, literally fit me like a glove, and I bought it on the spot. I paid 55 for it and it's a Scotch and soda thing, so thought it was quite a fair price. It is cut with polyester. It's just above 60%. It's not really like a summer piece, so it will do. And it's just kind of interesting to see how, I mean, this is of course a secondhand, and I can still sort of tell that it's a little bit lift in, but it's still at like a point where like the construction and like the overall fabric still looks super good. So it's funny to see like in what different ways things start to show signs of wear. So that's something I've really been paying attention to. I know there's a lot of new faces around here, but if you were here around a year ago, you might remember I was looking for my perfect navy blazer, and I spent a lot of time looking for it. And I ended on my Jill Sander blazer, which, to be quite honest, it's like nearly black. It's like as midnight dark blue as it gets. But still, that girl is like my pride and glory. But before I bought it, one of the things that I had considered was a pinstripe blazer from Everlane that I also just really adored. But as I was thinking about it, considering what to add, the Everlane blazer did sell out. So the decision was obviously made for me. But when I then stumbled upon this in the secondhand shop, I just bought it immediately when I tried it on. It is double-breasted, but I do think it's more like a jacket type blazer, so that doesn't really bother me in the same way as it usually would. And it also doesn't hurt that it has these really nice gold buttons that of course fits with the rest of my accent pieces in gold. Then we're moving on to the next thing that I bought, and that is an Everlane shirt. This is a baby blue shirt in 100% linen. This, I will say, I feel like here I'm losing my track a little bit. I think I've definitely been influenced by the fact that the weather here in Zurich has started to get quite a bit warmer, and I've been trying to add like new summer/spring pieces, and I added a couple of shirts from Everlane. The rest I've sent back, but I ended up keeping this blue linen shirt. But this is actually one of the things where like it does look really nice, but I was definitely hit by like the novelty of the shirt. I was hit by like the newness of it because I wore it 3 days in a row. Also because the quality is so nice. I'm wearing my linen shirt from Gap right now, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like a world to difference from the Everlane linen one. Like the quality is just really nice, like the feel of the fabric. But after having worn it these 3 times, that was when like the novelty went off, and I was like, I think I'd be better off adding this in white, even though I already have one in white. This actually has like a couple of holes in it now. And it's not like this shirt doesn't have a place within my wardrobe, but just with the wardrobe I've been building for summer slash spring, I've been a little bit too like confused. Like I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and so I kind of let newness take over, even if it's like a nice new piece. So because of this experience, together with another couple of experiences that are coming up next, I actually started watching my own videos to sort of like bring me back and anchor me back into some of the things that I have learned myself and that I then of course like share with you guys. And I just think that that's kind of funny that, yeah, even for me, you know, you sort of sometimes lose track or lose sight of what's important to you and why. So having like a backlog of like videos where I'm talking about it has been really helpful. So I've been watching my own videos, which I usually don't do, so that's kind of funny. And so another experience that also did propel me into watching my own videos is this new bag that I bought. It's from Danish brand Bjørk Christensen, and this is another situation where I was kind of inspired by the fact that a friend had this bag. In my experience, it might not be very similar, but within my wardrobe, it's similar enough to the Pauline bag that I have that I need not had added it. I was drawn in by a few things, definitely mainly the fact that it is this square shape and has the gold details. I think it looks a little bit less casual, and then also the fact that it's just easier to store my things in it, like having my Kindle and a bunch of other things along with me. So I went home after having seen her bag just to like have a look at it, and I recognized pretty quickly that it's now obsolete. So I found one on eBay for 110 francs, and literally without thinking, I just bought it out of FOMO. And that's a bit silly because I think that had I given myself more time to sort of really assess my decision, I would have then had time to like recognize what it was that was attractive about this bag to me, like the fact that it has this classic shape and also the fact that it is a lot more practical to hold my things. But had I just taken this, I don't think I would have ended up on this bag. Like it's again just too similar, and to be quite honest, like I don't think it's as much me as the other one. And it also is a cognac color, which is the more red version of camel. Like they definitely lean towards each other a little bit, and I think this just confirmed for me that I do prefer camel over cognac. So if nothing else, that is what I learned from it. I have gotten a few times wear out of it, but I will be selling this bag. Even though it's really great quality, it's just buying it so quickly out of FOMO and all of the other points I've mentioned, I haven't managed to like grown attached, quote unquote, to it in the same way that I have with the Pauline bag, because with the Pauline bag I spend a lot of time like researching and really making a decision. And I think in my experience, when we tend to really think about things and really assess our decision, we also oftentimes end up appreciating the things that we then end up with more. And yeah, it's kind of nice actually to see now like how much I do actually like and stand by my Pauline, because that was a first for me, getting it in camel. And also I usually don't have bags in this size, but I do wear it quite a lot. Then I added something yesterday, so this just barely made it into this video, and it is another fast fashion thing. So yeah, I really spiraled a little bit out of control there, and I added a bag. The only thing that's wrong with this bag is that it is fast fashion and that it then constructive wise does look the part a little bit, but outside of that, this bag is just perfect. It was exactly what I've been looking for. So I've been planning out my summer and spring wardrobe. Not gonna get into it too much because I'm gonna do a separate video on that, but one of the things that I wanted to add for spring and summer is a canvas bag with camel leather details. So obviously this isn't leather details, it's plastic details because it is like cheap fast fashion. I paid 45 for it. But when I did consider buying the bag, I did also think to myself, maybe it's not such a terrible idea to get this bag in like cheaper quality, because I am going to trash this bag this summer. I was looking for something like I just described that I would be able to take with me to like the lake and just like throw my dirty towels in it, my wet swimwear, and just like throw everything into it and just not worry at all about how dirty it will be. me. Last year I would use my Answa tote bag for that, but just found that it's not so comfortable that it's longer than it is wide, because I always had to like dig through things like whenever I was looking for something, because you know, like in a summer bag everything is just usually like thrown in there. So yeah, there's definitely some details on it that really gives away that it's a fast fashion piece, but if you step a couple of feet away, you know, it doesn't hurt much. And again, like when it is a piece that I would prefer not at all have to look after, I think it's a good compromise. I am making camel my summer version of black, so I'm so excited about it, and that's also hence why I wanted to add like a bigger bag that I can hold a lot of things in for summer. Then another thing, it was actually one of you guys who reminded me on Instagram, so thank you for that. If you have been here for a little bit of a while, you probably remember my antique ring. I bought this off of a friend who's an art dealer, and it is just so special to me. But when he sold it to me, I was supposed to get these documents that would have a few informations about the ring, so I promised to share the information when I received the document. So I received the document in the end of last year, and it was a little bit underwhelming. It was a bit less than what I had expected, so I just never got around to share. So basically the document just says like very few details about the ring, where it's from, when approximately, which is 2000 something BC, and then that it's from old Persia. The ring is all made together, where it's more common to be able to buy the stones and then you have a jeweler create the ring around it. But for this one, this is how the ring was found. So that's why it has such a non-perfect form. And so what else is in the document is just who I bought it from, and then who he bought it from, and what original collection it has been part of. So quite short and sweet. And if I want to find out more details about the ring, the way I've understood it is that I would have to maybe take it to some sort of antique whatever myself sometime, which I might very well do someday. Just wanted to share that also because even if you are a new face, you will see a lot to this ring. I do wear it every single day. That was everything that was new. Now a little bit of planning and just thoughts and feelings. One thing is that I am looking for shoes for summer. I want to add a pair of sandals. These types of sandal, I put it on the screen. I'm not really sure what they're called, but right now I'm actually very much in between these ones and then the mules. I'm sure that you guys will have a lot of opinions about what is best, but I will really try to like make that decision for myself, and it's quite hard. I'm not sure what I would get the most wear out of, but actually what I wanted to say about it above everything else is that as I'm sort of like looking for shoes, and I've also been looking for dresses for summer, I spend a lot of time doing that because first of all, I just really enjoy it. For me, it's really part of the pleasure of receiving something new. Like I've taken part of like the whole thing of like newness, and then what I enjoy about getting something new, I've then put that into the hunt. So yeah, I spend a lot of time hunting for the correct things, be that shoes or dresses, but I find so many things that are just like so stunning and so gorgeous and seem in such good quality, but that I will not be able to talk about because I do not add the majority of it, because if it does not fit my exact criterion, of course it's not for me and I won't be buying it and then showing it off. But I was actually considering maybe making a few videos of just like sharing really nice high quality sandals for summer, or showing off the dresses I find that I'm not gonna add myself, just because it's also a way, I guess, in sort of in a sense that we can shop together and also talk about pieces that has nothing to do with my wardrobe. Because even though I hope, of course, you pick up some things for my videos, it's all based in my wardrobe. So I thought maybe that would be an idea. So I'm probably gonna make a video like that, either with sandals or dresses or both. And then the next thing is my all-stars are dead. That means I will have to look for new white sneakers. I will actually have to look both for a new white sneaker and weightlifting shoes, because as I shared in my recent activewear video, I have been using them for weightlifting as well. So between all the daily wear and the weightlifting, they are just now kaput. It's over for them. I managed to wear them 81 times for a final cost per wear of 0.98 francs. So they just made it below the 1 francs per wear mark, except for the fact that I have worn them a ton of times at the gym and I do not count the cost per wear of my activewear, so they have way more wear than the 81 times when you look at it like that. So I think they did do all right. I'm considering either adding the Stan Smiths from Adidas, or I might actually add a pair of Converse again, but then add the high versions and the high top ones. I've yet to manage to find sneakers that don't absolutely tear apart at the heel at some point, to the point of uncomfortability. So if you have any suggestions and any really good experiences with sneakers that don't do that, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And then I wanted to talk about some thoughts and feelings about my new fast fashion pieces, which it's just so wild that this comes so early, because I literally just shared having added these pieces, but here we are. First of all, the polyester sweater, and this is just like a funny anecdote. I was out with a friend at a cafe just sitting and working when I started to I could just smell something that didn't smell particularly good, and I actually thought it was like a lady that had just come to sit down next to us, and then it took me like a full 10-15 minutes before I realized, oh my god, it's me. It's this polyester sweater, because I'd worn it like a couple of times, I think like 2, 3, 4 times without washing it, which for me is just such the norm with a sweater, because my sweaters are usually wool and cashmere, which those fabrics are antibacterial. They sort of like cleanse themselves. Someone is gonna come for me because I didn't say that in the correct way. I promise I'll look that up for next time. But basically it does not really develop an odor in the same way that like polyester does, because polyester is like the bacteria will fester. Normally when I've worn like my cashmere and wool sweaters, I barely wash them, if ever. I'll just hang them outside to dry. Maybe I'll spray them down with like a deodorizing spray of some sort, but they don't get smelly. Like they don't develop an odor, and so this blue sweater had done that. And then of course like I went home and I threw it in the wash, and then it was all fine. But it was just like so interesting to see like how much I've gotten used to not having to wash things because they smell. Like I wash things because they're either dirty or because I just get a sense that it's time for a wash, where it's been a while since I had to wash everyday wear just out of the fact that it smells badly when I've worn it a few times. But other than that, this shirt is all good. The texture has changed a little bit with the 2 times I've washed it, but honestly could have been so much worse, and it has not lost its shape, so I'm still wearing it. Then there's the pink blazer, and I feel like this is a little bit more important, so I'm just going to check how much I've actually worn it. Actually, I've only worn this 6 times. I'm actually a bit surprised about that. I thought I'd worn it more, but nonetheless, it still looks fine. The only thing that is with it is that the holes for the buttons has started to like very much fall apart, like very much deteriorate. And it's just interesting because the Jill Sander blazer doesn't have buttons, so I don't know about that one. But for example, the Scotch and Soda one, which I've also already worn that amount of time, if not more, and which is a secondhand piece, it just, like the construction of the piece, it doesn't just like fall apart, like it still looks intact. So it's interesting to see with this like new H&M blazer, the pink one, which I really do adore it, but I worn it 6 times and it's just literally like, it's not a joke when I say falling apart, because that's like literally what happens. So yeah, just a quick update about just how quickly that has gone, and I will keep monitoring it and see like what happens to it next, if anything. So that was everything I had to share in today's wardrobe updates. I hope that you enjoyed. Please share any thoughts and feelings with me in the comments below. I always love to read it, and have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.